Look at the move in Solo stock. Just over the past day, it's up by 8%. Over the past 5 days, it's up by close to 13%. Now, this is over positive news about a partnership and exercise warrants at about a $4 USD strike price. So, we're going to talk about what Solo is. I've been talking about this company for some time now. I am an investor in Solo, just for full disclosure. And so, we're going to talk about ElectraMeccanica Vehicle Corporation. They're based out in Vancouver, in Canada. That's British Columbia. They trade under the ticker Solo. They also trade. They traded on the NASDAQ there under Solo. So feel free to check out this stock. And let's get right into it. Welcome back to another video. My name's Adam. Solo is a pretty small company. They have their flagship product called the Solo, which is a quirky three-wheeled car. And what's interesting about this company is that, you have to look in industry that's getting a lot more competitive in terms of the EV market. Where does Solo stand? And they say that their competitive advantage is with their three-vehicled car. And you can look it up online. We're going to take a look at some of their Solo cars. But basically, they say that a lot of people, when it comes to, let's say, delivery drivers, they need to be more versatile. And so in order to sort of act as in between a car and a motorcycle, it'll be very helpful in terms of moving goods from place to place quickly. It'll be a lot more fuel efficient. Well, I mean, it's a fully electric vehicle car. And they're saying that if you commute to and from work just by yourself, that's going to be very helpful, that you just have like a very small car. Obviously, the downsides are, it looks pretty quirky. That could be also a positive upside. Another thing is not only that it looks quirky, but it is technically considered a motorcycle, in which case you'd have to wear a helmet while operating the vehicle. And there's potential concerns about the safety of the Solo car. But despite that, I do believe that they do have a pretty decent competitive advantage, and it is on the cheaper side when it comes to the stocks that you could look at. And considering where the stock has been in the past, even last year, it reached all the way to $13 a share. And since then, it's been on a pretty wild ride downwards, down 64% since the highs there of last year. And there was the whole EV craze, but it was actually higher in October of 2017, and then it sort of got back down. So maybe we see a trend where in November, this stock actually spikes up, and hopefully that it goes all the way back up to, $14-13, make a nice profit off of Solo or ElectraMeccanica. So yeah, right now sitting at a $442 million market cap, so not a crazy amount. And again, I do believe it is one of the cheaper EV plays, and pretty undervalued. So if we're just going to look at the technicals just for a second here, I like to full screen this. Yahoo Finance provides a pretty good indicator of the technicals, especially if you're looking at Bollinger Bands. Basically, I like to buy a stock when it's riding the lower Bollinger Band. So if we just zoom out, let's say we put like a 1 year chart here. As you can see, I've made some drawings here. I technically like to buy a stock when it's beaten down, basically kind of right over here. I would buy it. If you bought it at $5, of course, you would have been kind of killing yourself later. But you could have just bought it at around $3. And then the stock would have moved up a little bit, but then it sort of came back down to $3. So, now we see this positive increase in the stock price, and it's riding the upper Bollinger Band. And I actually don't like when that happens. I tend to just sort of wait for a stock to track back before I buy in, just because when it goes above the Bollinger Band, it tends to come back down, right? When you go higher, the higher you go, the greater the fall is, as what they say. But the reason why it's trending close to $4 is basically because of this strategic partnership. So Solo strategic partner Zongshen Indutrial Group validates company's go-forward strategy with exercise of 1.4 million warrants. So basically, Solo got a shit ton of money for exercising 1.4 million warrants through this manufacturing partner Zongshen at a $4 Canadian strike price. So if this is a $4 Canadian strike price, that means that that's probably like a $3.50 US strike price. So it's sort of around that range here, but that just means that like Solo is able to get more money to expand and basically produce their vehicles, and at least that like this industrial group believes in the company, generating 5.6 million in proceeds for the company. We are pleased to have received these proceeds from the warrants exercise, serving as validation of all that we do at ElectraMeccanica. I look forward to continuing our operational execution in the months and years ahead as we strive to revolutionize transportation and create sustainable long-term value for all our shareholders. And it's a clear testament to our confidence in the company's future and the value we place on our mutual relationship, said Zongshen Indutrial Group Chairman Zuo. So pretty much a lot of the manufacturing right now for Solo is happening in China. So in China, they basically manufacture the Solo car and then they ship it over to BC. But I mean, obviously, considering the struggle right now of the whole supply chain issues, I mean, it might be pretty expensive to ship anything, let alone cars, which are really big, from China to Canada or even the States. So that also is probably what's been hurting the stock price in the short term. And then on top of that, ElectraMeccanica commenced the first customer deliveries of its Solo EV on October 4th. So it's really good that finally they're producing on their promises and they're delivering. I mean, they said that they would put out their cars a lot sooner than they did, but at least they have cars that they're putting up right now. So, and in terms of their financials, the latest quarterly results is their Q2 results. So ended June 30, so basically in August. And designer and manufacturer of electric vehicles reported quarterly results. So their highlights: the Solo EV was showcased to former Michigan governor and current U.S. Secretary of Energy, blah, blah, blah. During the quarter, took possession of its temporary processing inspection. So they have a facility area in Arizona. While construction of a 235,000 square foot project continues, the company will be able to begin staffing and vehicle processing in anticipation of a final build by the end of next year. When fully constructed and operational, the facility is expected to create up to 500 new jobs and will be capable of producing up to 20,000 Solos per year. So 20,000, considering all of them get sold, times 18,500 is a potential for revenue just for their Solo cars. And again, they expanded their retail footprint. So, I mean, they're losing money like crazy. The company's net cash decreased by 10.3 million, and they used 9.4 million in operating activities and 1.4 million offset by net cash provided by finance activities of $456,000. So they had general and G&A expenses of 6.1 million compared to 1.5 million. So they're losing money like crazy. Operating loss was 15.3 million. And if we just go to just like an actual comparison here, if you just go to the summary page, this is just like a quick chart usually where you can see what the company did. And I mean, like, they're losing a lot of money. So just in 2020, they lost about like $63 million in the past quarterly results. I mean, so they're losing a lot of money. So this is a very risky play that you have to understand. However, if you're looking at what they're thinking of doing in terms of revenue, they're basically going from 0 to 100 once their facility is built out, and they already started delivering on their on their Solo products, right? And you look here, 2 analyst estimates, right? So average estimate is like 1.82 million revenue, which would be a 658% increase. And then on top of that, the current year for the 2021, they're supposed to do 2.46 million revenue, which is a 306% increase. And then next year in 2022, they're supposed to do 14.56 million, which is another 491% increase. So if they do that, it means that this can sort of justify the price of Solo, and hopefully Solo will go up. The only real question is if they'll be able to deliver on these promises and actually have these estimates, right? Because like 600% growth, 300% growth, 491% growth is a lot. So that's up to you to decide. And these are just like some facts of Solo. So I haven't talked about this company in a long time. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like, subscribe, and check out the comments and Discord down below. The Discord is completely free. If you'd like to support me, check out my real-time buys and sells. You can check out my Patreon and let me know what you think. If you invested in Solo, how much you're down. We're all in this together. So yeah, peace guys, love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.